Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Ho, ho, ho. It's day 3 of the 7 days of Heavy Metal Mass. With me, Tony Evans, looking back at the year of 2023. I know it's not the new year, but I like to do this. And I get a lot of good I get a lot of good feedback about this, so I enjoy doing it. Now, we've had my favourite song. We've had my favourite album. Now it's going to be one of my favourite live show. This is a really tricky one because there's been some absolute crackers this last year. It's a big international acts like Paul McCartney, small local acts like, Witch Skull and bands like that. But for me, the most favourite experience I've had so far this year at a gig is going to have to be Aces High, the Iron Maiden tribute band, just played here in Canberra on the 2nd of December, and they did the Power Slave tour show, the Live After Death, and I got to live out a childhood fantasy where I actually played Eddie, albeit just in a mask. I couldn't see a bloody thing I was doing. It was so much fun. When Son, the lead singer, texted me and said, "Hey, do you want to play Eddie?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm up for that." I must admit, I was a bit worried for some of the show. I didn't tell anyone apart from Benji that I was going to do it. So when I disappeared off backstage and we got dressed up and walked on stage, now it was only in a mask, mind you. It was a bit of a shock for my friends there. It was good fun. And the show itself was brilliant. They are definitely the best tribute act for Iron Maiden I reckon there is at this moment anywhere. Son is an amazing singer. She's got great stage presence. She can really hold the Bruce Dickinson notes. The band themselves are tight as. Anyone that can play Steve Harris parts well, for me, I hold them up in high regard. And new guitarist in as well, because they lost the guitarist early last year because they went off to do other things, and I think she's coming back. The new guy was very, very, he had a big stage presence, and I think he brought a lot to the live show, and it was just brilliant. I know they said that they're sort of overdoing the Live After Death tour now. They've done it a lot, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. But when they play Rome the Ancient Mariner, in my opinion, as you know, I've said this before, the greatest live album ever made. It just gives me such... It's our live song ever made, sorry. Not live song. God. My favourite ever Iron Maiden track and my favourite ever heavy metal track of all time. That's what I meant to say. See, I'm staring out the window, it's a lovely sunny day, and I went into a different world. Anyway, I was thinking about the gig, see? It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And, this is the first... I've seen them many times, but this is the tightest I've ever seen them. It was at the end of a international tour. They toured New Zealand and then they toured Australia. They had some merch, which I'm really, really pleased I got my hands on. At last. Brilliant artwork. brilliant artwork. And Son and the guys have worked really, really hard to bring this show to the world, to Australia and to New Zealand, and hopefully this get bigger international shows will be even better. I reckon they should be seen by bigger and more people. It's just more expensive, sadly, for smaller bands to get, unless they've got good management or sponsorship to get these things going. So if you do see in your local town in Australia, if you're listening to this and you see them on the coming soon lists, grab yourself a ticket for a handful of shekels, 40 of your Earth dollars. You get some an absolutely cracker, almost 3-hour gig, and it was a brilliant gig. There were, the support act was fantastic, but honestly, it just made me smile, and it was just so much fun to be there, really. I mean, I'm going to say that the second favourite, again, is a local concert. I'm going to say that Paul McCartney was wonderful, but we're going to put Park McCartney over to the side because that goes without saying, of course. But for me, a great gig these days, more so, as I've mentioned this on the podcast, is more about intimacy, connection with the band, and just reality. And you get that here in Canberra in the basement, you really do. And my other fantastic gig was the recent second of the Witch Skull album launches that I saw them. They did one before at the Croatia Club. This was now at the basement. They had 4 other bands and they were all brilliant. They ranged from sort of surfy Australian-based 70s punk, like the Saints, sounding like the Saints, to hardcore bands like that just reminded me of like GBH and Killing Joke and things like that. And then of course there was In Memoriam, which is an amazing local and now I think international death metal band, brilliant. And of course Witch Skull, you can't beat a bit of Skull. Again, if you see Skull on your local coming soon venue posters, you bloody better go, because these guys promise a fantastic show. They don't go as long as they're an hour and 20 minutes. They usually go on quite late, but man, when they come on, they bulldozer you into the next dimension, in my opinion. Be prepared for a sore neck. And with the Iron Maiden, everyone loves a sing-along. I mean, they came out in the audience, they walked around the audience with the guitars. It felt like an absolute, it was the end of the tour, and it felt like a party for me. It felt like they were really happy that they achieved what they have achieved, and it was really nice that they got to finish the year out in our town here, where I think we're the best audience, in my opinion, for them. There's always me, Benji, and we're always there. We're always, and Callum and Laurie, and we're always there up front, ready to absolutely go for it. So it's always a pleasure, always a pleasure. That was me. That was my gig for the year. Highlights, definitely Run with the Ancient Mariner, Killers, me coming on Power Slave in the Power Slave Eddie mask, rambling around. If you want to have a look on my Facebook page, you'll find that there was a video of me doing that. I don't remember, I had so much fun doing it that I think I made a fool of myself, but in a really good rock and roll kind of way. And the band has asked me to come on and do it again, so I can't have been that bad. Next time, though, I'm going to try and go for the whole uniform business. Hey. Anyway, that's this episode for today. Talk to you tomorrow on day 4. Bye for now.